voice of a priest. Thanksgiving disguised as a feast. Rolling in the Rolls Royce Caniche. Only the doctors got this, I'm hiding from police. Cocaine seats, all white like I got the whole thing bleached. Drug dealer chic. I'm wondering if a thug's prayers reach. It's pious, for God loves pious. Socrates asks who's biased, do y'all seek? Off Plato, screech. I'm out here ballin', I know you hear my sneaks. Jesus was a carpenter, Yeezy, lay beats. Overflow, the Holy Ghost, get the hell up out your seats. Preach.
Human beings in a mob. What's a mob to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer who don't believe in anything? Really make it out alive. Alright.
This is Double D Shots, and I'm sitting here with Kurt Howland, Calgary Gators boss. Kurt, can you give us a brief history on the Calgary Gators? The team started in 1998, is that correct?
Yeah, 1998 was the first year. So yeah, I mean, the team was around since 98. I kind of helped take things over back in 2012, 2013 season. Yeah, it's just been a long road. We won some AFL championships in 13, 15, 17, and we just came up short 3 times in a national championship. And after the 2017 season, we decided, it was time to shut things down. Guys were done with the team. We didn't want to have the team fall into a situation like some teams have, where it's just been a struggle to keep them afloat. And then, just the stars aligned for coming back in 2024. A lot of the original crew came back, some new guys that helped us kind of get over the hump, and just everything worked out, and we were able to win the AFL in our first season back, and then obviously be able to host the national championship and beat a team that had beaten us twice in nationals, so with the GTA All-Stars. So it was a pretty Cinderella kind of story season, and it just worked out perfectly, and now here we are getting ready for 2025.
Tell me about bringing the team back and the recruiting process. How did you go about rebuilding this team?
Yeah, it was a big thing bringing the team back, that we wanted to make sure, like, hey, we've got some really good football players coming back, but a lot of us haven't played in 5, 6, 7 years. So, and we're not getting any younger. So it was important to kind of infuse the team with some young talent. We didn't want to just take the path of like, hey, let's bring in 30 imports, and we don't need to do that in a city like Calgary. But yeah, guys like Dawson Elliott, Cody McRoberts coming over from Ontario, and then obviously Chris Dublin and Cam Miller, them coming from the U.S. They were huge defensive guys on that side of the ball, and there's more guys that came in as well. But yeah, those guys on the defensive side for sure were huge for us, and it brought some youth into the team, but obviously, regardless of their age, they were super highly talented. But yeah, they were huge. And then just some guys even on the offensive side of the ball, not necessarily imports, but guys like Tyshawn at center, like that was huge this year. Bryce Harper, he's played in the league before. He's a good friend of mine, but never played for the Gators. Like guys like that, to be able to bring them in and just kind of add to the pieces that we needed to push us over the top. And I've always looked, since I help with the social media in the league, but I haven't been playing in the league, but I've always sat on the sidelines and looked and just said, like, there's good talent in the league, there's been really good teams here and there, but I just knew, I was like, I feel like the league had been missing a gear that I think we brought back. And I was glad to be able to do it, because it could have just been in my head that maybe, oh yeah, we think we're great, but maybe we're not as good as we think we are. But I think coming back and showing, hey, like, this is what the team can be from the organizational standpoint and on the field. I think we kind of set the tone for the league. And, you know, it's one of those things where every year that we upped ourselves, a team like Fort Mac, a team like Red Deer, those teams would kind of take it to the next level to try to match what we're doing. So I'm hoping that that's something that happens this year, that, you know, a team like Cold Lake, Edmonton, Red Deer, like those teams kind of see what we've done and say, okay, like we either stay here and sit by while the Gators do their thing, or we need to step it up a notch. And that's only going to make the league better. It's going to make the competition better. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for.
I just want to give you credit for, you know, a lot of recruiting is a tough job, but you know what I mean? If you know how to do it right, you obviously get to see what happens at the end of the season. And speaking of the end of the season, obviously GTA, Gators, everybody knows about the rivalry, the losses, the 1 second or last second field goals. This year, you guys just shut them completely out. It looked like the whole team was in focus, everybody was in sync. Just let us know about what was that whole experience like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of respect for GTA. They've been a great organization. They've won the league out there, I don't even know how many times in a row now, and they've won multiple national championships, 2 against us. And yeah, I just think we were so motivated and laser focused that, especially them having to come to us, because that was always something that I knew. It's like you're playing essentially a totally different rule set. You're playing on the road. The chips are stacked against you when you're the road team, and it's always been that way, and it'll always be that way. But so I knew going into it that we kind of had the upper hand of just being the host team finally for once. We've never actually hosted a national, but yeah, just the way I looked at it after the game, like I know I talked to Jordan, like our quarterback, and a couple of guys, and I just said, I was like, you know, maybe GTA wasn't as good as they've been in the past, or maybe we were just that much better, which I truly believe this is the best Gators team that we've ever had. But I just said the focus and just the absolute will to just do whatever we had to do to get that natty back. I don't see a scenario they could have brought out an all-star team from the NFC, and I just feel like it was just our year, and we were so motivated that we weren't going to let anything get in our way from winning our first national championship. So hats off to GTA. They had another great season, but I just felt like they were kind of standing in the way of a buzzsaw that just wasn't gonna allow them to take another national championship away from us.
How's the team roster looking for this year, and what are the team's expectations heading into the 2025 football season?
We've got a very big core of our team coming back. I actually thought that there was the possibility that we'd be replacing a lot more than we would be, just because a lot of guys just wanted to get that national championship, and then maybe once they got it, the fire would go away. But I think something that I had said to them kind of right after we won the national was like, you know, we've won a national championship, which is a huge weight off our shoulders, but now we just kind of stand in a pool of a bunch of teams that have won a national championship. Now we have the opportunity to be, I think, one of only 2 teams maybe that have ever gone out east and win a national championship, and I think maybe 1 of 2 or 3 teams that have ever gone back-to-back winning a national championship. So I think once I put the stakes out like that, where it's like, hey, you know, we're national champions, but we have the chance to go down as one of the best organizations in the history of the AFL and the CMFL. I think it kind of kept that fire lit in a lot of guys of wanting to push for that. So we've got some really good players coming back, and we have some really talented football players that are coming in that are going to be new to the team, that are going to bring some dynamics that we didn't even have last year. So yeah, 2025 is looking up. It's a matter of just being prepared, stay focused, stay humble, and know that, you know, nobody really other than a couple teams have ever won back-to-back. So for us to just try to go into the season thinking like it's a done deal is just not realistic. It's very hard to do, and it very rarely happens, especially now we're traveling out east if we win the AFL. So yeah, we're motivated. I feel like, me personally, I just wanted to get the team back and move the Gators in the right direction. But I feel like at this point, I feel more motivated this year than I did last year. So I'm in a position, and I hope the rest of our guys are, that we're going to be focused and you know, we're looking to improve on what we did last year.
Thank you, Kurt, for giving us a couple minutes of your time and just giving us some backgrounds on the amazing season and the Natty and some info on what's to come.
Appreciate it.